through some of the common errors that you might expect to see, getting with, well, I'll first prescribe a general like how-to of how to like navigate these errors, which is more Python general how-to of how to set like breakpoints in your code. I personally use like IPython terminal as a way of navigating things. Uh, uh, I often use this, it's called a magic function in IPython terms of debug. To step into code after I hit an error point. The alternative is to add this line. You can either import PDB as a dependency, at in the front matter of your file, or you can have this dunder double underscore method of PDB set trace. For anyone that uses VS Code, I do recommend using the Python debugging extension that will allow you to do this as well as like see the relevant variables and their values in like a table printout as you navigate up and down. But yeah, if you've ever seen a Python error stack, and I'll assume everyone has, with the like file name, line number, arrow to like the line that it hit, and then the like step into that function and the line that it hit and the step into that function. This debugger tool for set trace will basically overwrite a set of commands up, down, list, quit, continue, help, that will let you hop up and down that stack. So when you hit an error that says like, oh, this SQL function didn't seem to work, but the error is opaque, let's go into the error stack and navigate to a place where it will actually like allow me to call the SQL variable to see what it was that it sent to SQL and see whether or not there was some translation error between like the Python object I passed to this insert function and then the thing that I expected data joint to do when it translated that into a SQL query. Yeah. No, that's not great. Text contrast, but to read it out, this says integrity error, cannot add a child row, a foreign key constraint fails. It says schema.table constraint table IBFK underscore one. So data joint's default convention for how to name its foreign key references has this like uses the table name and then I forget what IB stands for, but IB foreign key one that has a foreign key reference to another field. When you see an integrity error, for the most part, it is a case that you are trying to insert into a table for which the relevant subset of that key that exists in a foreign table is missing. Spyglass has a, did I include a slide for it? Oh, yeah. For Spyglass mix-in inheriting tables, there's this find insert fail helper method that will basically do a for loop on the relevant parents and see, is it in this one? Is it in this one? Is it in this one? And then print out each of the cases where your key is present and print out the restricted version of that table. And then it'll show you an empty version where like your information is missing. A permission error will start with insufficient privileges, and then the part that is all caps, something command, so in this case, insert command is denied to user at IP address for table name, and then it'll give the command insert into schema name, table name, field values. This is something that for the most part, you'll just have to talk to your database administrator about. Does your user have permissions for this prefix, for this schema? And for the most part, if it makes sense, you'll get granted them. There are some cases where DataDoint is trying to update a table because I think, Jose, you and I ran into this recently. If you run an insert with skip duplicates, which in general you should avoid if you can, the skip duplicates argument on the insert method, um, it will attempt to update the value in that table. And for users that we only expect to insert data that we may want to protect overwrites from, um, those users may or may not have the insert, or sorry, the update privilege for that table. To see what kind of privileges your current user has, maybe it's a new user ID, maybe you're working with a new database. This general structure dj.con, so your data joint connection runs the query, and then whatever it is that you put in these quotes will just automatically be sent to SQL. This is like, please run the SQL command, whatever. This show grants for current user will show you what privileges you have. You just have to remember to hit fetch all as like a method after it so that you're pulling all of the things that SQL sends back instead of like, I don't know, just the first one or whatever. Type errors. So folks relatively new to Python will hit type errors in cases where they are attempting to run a function with a Python type that doesn't make sense for that function. So an integer when it should be a float. They think they're using an integer, but instead it's a string and they didn't reformat it to a string, those kinds of things. Those can generally be debugged with this, with the help utility of just like help and then write the function in there or the class in there to see the doc strings, as long as that function has a relevant doc string to give you the type hints for what you're looking for. And then another version that you might see of this type error is some object is not iterable. And that's just a case where the thing you pass to it, maybe the argument to a function expected a list and it didn't do the diligence of turning your one object into a list. So it hit an issue with like, I can't run a for loop on this because it's an integer, whatever. Uh, a lot of the way that Spyglass and Data Joint works with foreign key references and data in general is to identify a row with a Python dictionary. Um, if you are seeing key error and then like the thing that you want to get out of that dictionary that doesn't exist, you'll see key error. You can either check what keys are available to you from this dictionary using the keys method of dictionary, or you can rewrite your code in such a way that it will accept a default in the event that this key does not exist. With the get method as opposed to the brackets get item approach. Data joint has some errors on its own. The one I see most often that folks need help with is when they're attempting to delete something that would require deletion from a part table before the relevant master entry. So I think we've done everything we can to make sure that like merge tables will know what to do when you attempt to delete the part and they'll delete the master. But if you structure your own code in such a way that like you have a downstream foreign key reference to a part table, and you're trying to delete it from further downstream, or sorry, from further upstream, data joint may not know how to do that sort of like graph navigation of attempting to delete the part. So let's attempt to delete the master.